Thank you for taking the time to watch this important presentation. M&M Home Care has a strong reputation for providing quality home care to victims of catastrophic auto injuries. We screen our potential employees through a multi-level approach, and whether you are new to the team or an ongoing employee, you are here because we recognized within you the potential to represent M&M Home Care values through competent and compassionate care. Big changes are coming with the new bill that was signed into law. Michigan will no longer be a no-fault state. Becoming a tort state means that litigation will become a way of life for many who are injured in auto accidents. Our clients are dependent on the care that we provide, and we must ensure this essential need is met. In order to continue as a leader in home care, we must be willing to grow our capabilities, and one of the most important areas that must be kept at a high standard is documentation. Your documentation is essential regarding the justification of our presence in our clients' homes. What you write matters. What you write is read and scrutinized by many different departments, from nursing to billing to insurance adjusters, and with court action becoming a standard in future cases, your documentation can easily be scrutinized in the court of law as well. The care that your client is dependent on will, in many ways, be dependent on not only what you chart, but the level of professionalism in your documentation. This is why it is imperative that all at M&M Home Care raise the bar on documentation. The challenges we face as an organization with the absence of no fault can be successfully faced with a strong work ethic and a commitment to ensure we are providing high quality in every aspect of our care. Our clients are counting on us. Your progress note is a legal document. It must be written in ink and never in pencil. It is essential that you write neatly and legibly. Print is easier to read than cursive. If you have small, cramped handwriting, please make it a point to write larger so that it is easily read. Charting is a big part of our communication, and if the individual you are writing it for cannot read it, it can't communicate anything. Should you make an error, simply draw one line through the error. Do not scribble it out. It should still be legible. After drawing a single line through the error, date and initial it and complete your charting. Never leave gaps in your charting. We may know what's going on in your case now and understand that an item is not applicable to your shift, but as time passes and cases move on, we'll forget. That gap in your charting today could look as an omission in your documentation in years to come. Your note should stand on its own. Give a precise and clear picture of your shift and the care you provided. When you rush your documentation, it shows. Your documentation speaks for you, for your professionalism, and for the quality of care you provide. And you represent M&M Home Care. It's common to feel that charting takes away from patient care, but in reality, it's an essential aspect of care. So, why do we document? Medical records are not only used as an important communication tool for the healthcare team, they are also used by the insurance companies, attorneys, and families to assess the care that is provided to your patients. Documentation that is accurate and complete is essential to demonstrating and justifying the care provided to our clients. The basic purpose of documentation is to produce a clear, concise, and accurate record about the healthcare client that allows everyone involved to know what has happened, what is planned, and what needs to be done. The ultimate goal of documentation is to assure high-quality, professional care across the board for all of our clients. At M&M Home Care, our goal is to help individuals with physical injuries or cognitive disabilities to live as independently as possible, and our purpose is to support our patients in their rehabilitation and recovery, to assist them to reach their goals and to help them develop skills and provide support when required. We achieve this through a multidisciplinary team of doctors, therapists, case managers, nurses, attendants, and other team professionals who all maintain a client-centered philosophy. It is essential that your documentation carry this same client-focused philosophy. There are two categories you should be aware of: attendant care and replacement services. Replacement services are defined as any household service previously the client could do, but are now unable to. While there is an aspect of replacement services that is included in attendant care, the focus of attendant care is not the household, but the client and their personal needs and abilities. M&M Home Care does not provide replacement services. Now let's take a look at the documentation itself. When you begin your shift, the first thing you should do is greet the client. Then you should wash your hands. Next, obtain your binder and examine the care plan. This is your guide for care and activities throughout your shift. You are required at all times to follow the care plan. A client can refuse a service, and if they do, be sure to document this in your notes. If you ever have a question or a concern, simply call the office. On the back, you might find additional information, so be sure to look at both sides. Always check the care plan at the beginning of each shift, as an item may have changed during your off hours. Your note is a legal document. It is imperative that you give it the due diligence that it deserves. It must be concise, legible, and filled in completely. At the top of the form, you'll find the identifiers: the client's name, first and last, the date, your time in and out, your name, first and last, and your title. M&M Home Care uses CNA and HHA, and not PCT. These identifiers must be on all your documents. Underneath the identifiers, you can see the key for level of assistance. This is the tool that you'll use to fill out the majority of the body of the form. Please look to the section on the right for digestion and nutrition. Remember to use the key to show the level of assist needed. Do not forget to mark yes or no for PEG. Unless your client has a medical issue such as end-stage kidney disease or certain heart conditions where fluids are to be limited, which would be documented in your care plan, all clients are to have fluids encouraged. Check care plan for diet. On the left in the vital signs section, notice that blood glucose is listed. If your client has a low reading or develops any symptoms of low blood sugar, be sure to document the event in your narrative and inform your supervisor per care plan. If this space is not applicable to your client, simply write NA for not applicable. Notice that pain is also placed under vitals. While you must follow your plan of care, always be aware of any pain issues your client has. Even if you are not verbally questioning him about pain, assess for pain through observation and document. The binder contains a comparative pain scale to assist you. Remember that pain is relative to each individual, and we must always respect a client's complaint and the number he gives for his pain. We should also observe and record our observations. Someone with long-term chronic pain may call their pain at a 4, when another person may call that same pain at a 9. This can happen in the reverse as well for clients with low pain tolerances. Any pain that is a 4 requires action and documentation. Failure to act on severe pain is neglect. In the narrative section, describe what was occurring at the start of the pain event. Did you just return from an outing where the client walked a great deal? Where is the pain located? Can it be described? Aching, stabbing, burning, etc.? What did you and or the client do to alleviate the pain? Did he take medicine? Lay down? Ice? Heat? Then, in an hour later, reassess the pain to determine if the efforts were successful. The majority of this will go in your narrative. In this section under vital signs, you'd record the time and number given to pain initially. Then, in an hour later, record the time and the reassessed number. The middle part of your progress note is to be filled out using the key for level of assistance for the sections on activity, elimination, and bathing/hygiene. Be sure to answer all of the yes or no questions. Leave no blanks. Write NA if it does not apply. If your client has a catheter, be sure to document the level of care here, the output, and then describe the urine in your narrative. Use clarifying terms such as clear, yellow, bloody, cloudy and concentrated, or foul odor, and not subjective terms such as good or bad. If your catheterized client has a poor output through your shift, always check tubing for kinks. Report any issues to the supervisor. If your client does not have a catheter, still be aware of how much he urinates and that it is quantity sufficient. If you are assisting them in the bathroom in any way, try to assess their urine. Remember that immobility, pain medications, and age can contribute to dehydration, which can lead to UTIs and other complications. Be aware of the quality of your client's urine is an important assessment to include in your narrative. The date of the last bowel movement is also important information. At the start of your shift, after you greet your client, wash your hands, and you read the care plan, go ahead and read the last 3 to 4 days of notes to acquaint yourself with your client's status. At this time, you can see the bowel movements, which will be especially helpful should your client be sleeping on your shift or a poor historian. Put only a date in this space, not today, not tomorrow, or last night. If your client has not had a bowel movement in 3 days, inform the supervisor. Safety is always a priority at all times. Remain free from falls unless your client has had a fall, and universal precautions should always be checked. Medications per plan is to be checked if applicable. In your narrative section, please be concise in what you write as space is limited. Remember to focus on client-oriented charting and not replacement services. It can be a challenge in some situations to do this, but it is an important issue to justify attendant care. Detail activities such as intellectual stimulation, social interaction, participating in faith and cultural activities, upper body ROM and strengthening activities encouraged through assisting with folding laundry, allowed client to ventilate frustrations about lack of mobility and emotional support given, fine motor skills practices with braiding hair. These are just suggestions to open thought to a more clinical way to chart. Always be objective, never subjective. Do not document your opinion, even if it is correct. The client may be demonstrating bad behavior, but this is not a clinical observation. Detail what that bad behavior is, such as yelling, hitting the couch, and so on. If your client has any wound, describe what you see. Is it red, painful, draining, swollen? Simple but accurate description is key. Please notice at the bottom of the narrative section where there is a place for you to write the name of the attendant you report off to. This is often overlooked. This information is important in showing the continuity of care in 24/7 cases. At the very bottom, you must sign our progress note. This is an affirmation that what you have documented is correct. Your signature and the identifiers at the top of the form are essential for processing and commissions. In these areas may prompt a required visit to the office to correct. Again, do not write on the back of this form. Should you need more room to document, simply get a second progress note. It is mandatory to fill out the identifiers at the top and sign this page as well. On the top right corner of the first page, write page 1 of 2, and then on the second page, in the same spot, write page 2 of 2. If your case has interdisciplinary notepads, you can use that as well. Do not write on the back of your progress notes. Always keep your documentation client-focused. On occasion, you may need to do a narcotic count between your shifts. This is the form that is used. On the top are the identifiers. hours. Then the line across with the numbers are the dates of the month. In the first column, under the first where it says AM shift, you would write the number of tablets. Under that, the initials of offgoing and ongoing staff. Then this is repeated with the PM shift. Write the number of tablets and follow with initials. At the bottom, each team member writes their initials and signature. In your progress note, document any narcotics your client administered. The nursing care plan is similar to the attendant care plan. However, its focus is the system based for assessments. Detailed instructions for care can be found at the bottom. Always check the back of your care plan for any miscellaneous information. It is also important to read the care plan at the beginning of each shift, in case something changed in your off hours. The nursing note is similar to the attendant progress note, but is slightly more comprehensive. Follow the same advisements as for the attendant progress note. Fill it out completely, and be sure it's legible. Handle errors in the correct way. No one likes incidents, and we do our best to prevent them. However, when they do occur, they must be handled in an expedient and precise way. Root cause analysis helps to prevent future issues. Here are a few scenarios where incident reports are needed. Any fall or injury to a client. Any event that raises concern for a client's safety or welfare. Any event in which there is an injury/near injury to staff. Any serious accusation or complaint by client or client's family regarding staff. It is not an admission of responsibility for the event, you are simply informing. If you find it, report it. In the event of a fall or serious injury, initiate EMS if necessary and contact the supervisor. Document the incident via secure message system located on the M&M Home Care website. Should access to the website not be available, send report in email form to admin@mmhomecare.com. If there is visible injury, take a picture with your phone and email to admin@mmhomecare.com. Then delete the pictures from your phone. What to document? What was the activity that was occurring at the time of the event? How did it happen? Was it witnessed by you or are you simply reporting? What did you see? What care did you give? How did the client respond? End of shift reassessment. Incident reports should always be completed within 24 hours after an occurrence. You will be contacted by the clinical supervisor for follow-up. To find the incident report, go to our website at mmhomecare.com. Then in the red ribbon, click Resources. Under Resources, click Forms Library. Then under Forms, the third link down is the Secure Incident Report form. Fill out the form as clearly as possible. Be sure to include the end-of-shift assessment, as an injury that was not visible at first may start to show as time passes. Report must be turned in within 24 hours. If you cannot access the website for the incident report, you can email your report to admin@mmhomecare.com. In review, your documentation is an essential tool for providing critical needs to your clients. It is a legal document that must be handled with the same time and respect it deserves. Write legibly, ink only, be accurate, be objective, no gaps, be precise, and be concise. Now that you have seen this presentation, these documentation policies are in effect. The next 2 months will be a learning curve while everyone gets on board. During this time, as your documentation is audited, individual emails will go with advice and instruction for improvement. These communications will not be disciplinary in nature. They are simply educational. After a 2-month period, however, in order to ensure compliance to policy, progressive action will become possible. Also, at the end of the 2-month period, the staff member who has shown the greatest improvement will earn a reward. Thank you for watching this important presentation. Feel free to contact the clinical supervisor at any time with your questions and concerns. Our goal at M&M Home Care is to help you be the best. Exceptional care, exceptional people.